stop.
Good morning, Keyshawn Johnson. No, actually, it's a great morning for me because this is music to my ears. There's hope in Dallas.
Morning, Skip.
Yeah, how are you?
Hope in Dallas to get rid of a quarterback that had 3 straight 12-win seasons. That's great.
3 straight crap-outs in the postseason, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So you should get a quarterback for the postseason and not one for the regular season.
That's a good idea. I don't know how to pull that off, but that's a great. Okay, your response to Rich Eisen's report.
Well, you know, when you're at the combine, you hear a lot of noise.
Okay.
And a lot of whispers, and a lot of chatter.
So do you think it's all noise?
I think it's just conversations because it didn't come from Jerry. It didn't come from Dak Prescott. It didn't come from Will Clay. It didn't come from Stephen Jones. They simply said.
It could have to Rich.
I mean, everybody's plugged in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he didn't hear it, but everybody's plugged in.
Yeah.
But Jerry Jones is on record saying, as well as Stephen Jones, they want to get a deal done with Dak Prescott. Okay? I understand the wind swings, it sways different ways. I get it. It blows all sorts of places. I understand that. But it would be a mistake, Skip. A major mistake. Because if you let him play this out at a 59-point-something million cap number, not real cash cap, and he goes on, and nothing suggests that he's going to have a lesser season than he's had over the last several seasons. Nothing suggests that. He's only going to continue to get better. He's not falling off a cliff and getting worse.
Okay, is he going to get better in the postseason since he's 2-5 in the postseason?
If your decision making is just solely based on the postseason, there's many quarterbacks that have played regular season and didn't fare well in the postseason until such due time. You'd have let them go, but they went on to win Super Bowls for those teams that they were on. Eventually, it happened. He's going to take you to the cleaners next year if you let him walk. Next spring, you're going to be screaming and saying, why would we do this? Because he's going to be saying, you got to give me $70 million, else I'm leaving. And then you're going to say, well, then just leave.
Okay, what will have happened in the postseason at that point?
I can't forecast that way. I can't say whether or not he's going to fail in the postseason or success in the postseason. I can say that I know for sure he's one of the top 6 quarterbacks in the National Football League. I don't care how you rank it. It ain't going ahead of Patrick Mahomes. But I don't care if you want to put him at 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to take some Justin Herbert before him, whatever the case is, the man deserves his money. He's going to take you to the cleaners next offseason if you don't do it now, or he's going to walk. And then you're going to be sitting there going, we just let our quarterback that we drafted develop for somebody else? You develop a quarterback or any position that you let walk out the door for somebody else to benefit on that when he's nice and ripe. He's not raw. He's not one of those bad, vegetables that's not ready to be picked yet. He's nice and ripe. He's not at the end where he's all mushy. No, he's right at that peak in his career, and you're ready to let him walk out the door. Then you're going to be stuck with notable free agents that are starters or on teams this year that you could go and get. Jared Goff, you want to go get Jared Goff? Well, Jordan Love ain't going nowhere because Green Bay going to sign him, so you're not going to have a chance to get him. Trevor Lawrence is going to stay in Jacksonville. You're not going to get him. Tua, you want Tua? Tua, Miami's going to keep Tua. You're not going to get him. Oh, by the way, Trey Lance is on your team. So you're going to pay Trey Lance $24 million? You're going to give him $24 million to see what he is? Okay, you're going to pick up that option and give him $24 million?
Well, Justin Fields loved him once upon a time.
You keep saying that like the Shanahan's did something.
They gave 3 first-rounders
and they made a mistake.
Second.
And they made a mistake.
Yeah.
And they made a mistake and said, well, so why would they move on?
Or did they just get the all-time break to draft Brock Purdy with the last pick?
They had no idea Brock Purdy would take them to the Super Bowl. Stop, Skip. And then you got Jameis Winston, Cooper Rush. Oh, then maybe Russell Wilson becomes available because he's on a 1-year deal for somebody else. Yeah. Those are the quarterbacks, as of right now, that you're going to have to choose from if you allow Dak Prescott to walk out the building if they're not retained by their teams and become available.
Okay, under your scenario, if the Dallas Cowboys, let's say, win 12 games and win the division and lose a home game to the next Green Bay that comes down the pike.
Yeah.
And Dak
They
stinks
lose
it
to
up
Carolina
again,
Panthers.
okay, to the Carolina Panthers, and Dak stinks it up for a fourth straight playoff year. Now, do you give him the next 4 years? Do you say, we can't do any better than you? We gotta commit to you for the next 4 years.
Him.
Okay, well, it is,
It's not on him.
It's the most important
Aaron Rodgers
position in
stuck it up the
sports.
last several tries in Green Bay. It wasn't all
That's
on
why
him.
he's no longer in Green
Yeah, and
Bay.
guess what? The New York Jets said, so thank you. We'll
And
take
guess
it.
what? The Green Bay Packers said, you know what? We're going to go to the bottom of the first round, and we're going to find a quarterback that we think is going to be even better than Aaron Rodgers.
No, they had already had him sitting behind Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I bet they'd already done it. They'd been ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but that was a different situation because Aaron Rodgers had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He didn't respect the front office. He was playing mind games with them, and they got tired of it, a la Brett Favre. That's not the situation with Dak Prescott in Dallas, Skip. And I understand you keep saying you don't want to spend more money on a situation because he's not winning in the postseason.
It's the classic case of throwing good money after bad. It's the ultimate resounding cliche in the financial world. Don't throw good money after bad.
Okay,
You've thrown a whole bunch of bad money at Dak Prescott. If your standards are the old Cowboy standards, but they're not. And I don't know, you were a Cowboy for 2 years, so you didn't taste what I tasted all those years before you.
It doesn't matter if I was a Cowboy for 50 years.
Okay.
I'm talking about the reality.
So
Skip.
in 2004,
you're living in the past.
You were on a team that went 6-10. I'm not saying it was your fault, but it was 6-10.
Yeah, we
then
were
in
not
2005, you were 9-7, and you didn't make the playoffs. So you haven't even tasted a Dallas Cowboy playoff game.
They haven't tasted it in how long? A championship, 30 years.
That's the problem.
You're living in the past with this, Skip.
Okay, I should be living in the present with this because it happened for 30 long years. The Cowboys were, you could argue, the dominant team in pro football because Roger Staubach in the postseason went 11-6, and Troy Aikman in the postseason went 11-4. And now we're stuck with a Dak Prescott that we stole in the 4th round. And he can be pretty good in the regular season. He's 2-5 in the postseason.
Yes, he's 2-5 in the postseason.
So I want to be very clear about this.
Should Buffalo get rid of Josh Allen?
No.
Why?
But this isn't about Josh Allen.
I'm just asking you about quarterbacks.
They're not the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm telling you quarterbacks in the postseason, though, Skip.
Okay, here's the point. This is nothing personal for me against Dak Prescott because he seems like a really good guy. I don't know him, but from a distance, he seems like a really good guy, and I was happy for him. He's got a new daughter, and I love the name he gave his new daughter. He calls her MJ. That's the greatest name ever. You know, why wouldn't you call it? Way to go, Dak. Go, Dak, go. This isn't about personal. It's about professional. It's about winning football games when it's time to win football games. So let's just quickly reiterate and recap what we've seen from Dak Prescott. So in playoff losses, each of the last 3 years, he has played by his regular season standards poorly. I think you would agree with that. It's not all his fault, but he plays the most important position in all of sports. So most of the blame is going to fall upon his shoulders, whether it's fair or not. And I think in this case, it's all fair because in a home playoff game against Jimmy G's San Francisco 49ers, Dak Prescott had a QBR in that home game of 32. That scale of 0 to 100, that's a poor game by his standards.
Yes.
We fell behind 23-7 to Jimmy G's 49ers going into the 4th quarter. Then 2 years ago, we go out to San Francisco, and our defense plays its tail off under Dan Quinn and plays well enough to win the football game and advance maybe to an NFC championship game. We hold the San Francisco 49ers, featuring Brock Purdy, we hold them to 19 points at home. Christian McCaffrey wasn't much of a factor in that game. And what happened? Dak Prescott throws 2 interceptions in the 2nd quarter and digs us a hole that we can never dig out of because he misses several throws. I had 5 in the second half that I thought were to open receivers that were just bad throws by the quarterback. 5 of them. If you want to do 3 or 4 or 5, there's some subjectivity in this. But the point is, we had chances to pull the game out, and we did not, and we lost 19-12 to the San Francisco 49ers. And then this year...
All his fault.
Okay, all right. That was a lot on Dak Prescott. In fact, I could give him 80% of the blame for that game. Okay? Now, this year, This is the all-time playoff collapse I've ever experienced and witnessed in all my Cowboy watching days, and I think you agree with this, because Dak in the first half throws 2 interceptions, but the second one was a killer because it's a pick 6 to Darnell Savage. I think we're showing
it's a pick 6.
We could see it.
Yeah, that's only 7. That's only 6 points.
Right,
what about the other 21?
I look up at halftime, and wait a second, it's 27-0 visiting team when at home we were the 2 seed.
Yes. Backed into the 2 seed.
We backed in. I agree with you on that.
Really should have been the 5th seed.
Okay, you could argue it's possible we shouldn't have been in the playoffs. But the team that you loved, the Philadelphia Eagles, got to 10-1 and they collapsed and let us in the back door.
Yeah.
I give you that. All of the above. But the problem is, and the point was, that the 2 seed against the 7 seed, the youngest team in the National Football League, is behind 27-0 before halftime and down 48-16 early in the fourth quarter at home, with a chance to beat Green Bay and then Detroit, to get back to San Francisco to try to right the wrong. Maybe the third time would have been the charm against those 49ers, but we didn't get to see that or try that.
Dak Prescott had nothing to do.
There's a whole lot on Dak Prescott.
He gave up 40-plus points.
Okay, why shouldn't we have won the division? It's because there was a game early in the year at Arizona when we lost Trevon Diggs, as you know, in practice.
They ran for 222.
Yeah.
I didn't know Dak played defense.
Dak had a QBR in that game of 32, another 32. That skill of 0 to 100.
They ran the
That's
ball
pathetic.
Down your throat.
That is pathetic, and we lost 28-16. Then that was followed quickly by a game at San Francisco on Sunday night in which Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions, and we lost 42-10. 42-10. Some, if not a lot of that, has to be on the quarterback's shoulder pads. And then finally, later in the year, this was the worst sign of all, we go up to Buffalo. Speaking of the great Josh Allen, he was pretty good in that game because Buffalo ran us off the football field 31-10. Wasn't all Dak's fault, but
I didn't know Dak played defense.
No, he didn't play defense, but he had a QBR of 39 in that game, against scale of 0 to 100. It's way below average, and he was pretty terrible in that game. So I'm giving you a string of blunders. I'm giving you a string of no-shows by Dak Prescott, and I say, I don't know. I've seen enough, because even that 19-12 game, just the year before that game, you won't remember this, but there's a big game when it was Dak against Mahomes up in Kansas City.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, you remember this game? And Dak Prescott he had the ball 12 times and managed 3 field goals against a not very good Kansas City defense. It was below average at that point. And Mahomes
so it had nothing to do with the play calling?
We held Mahomes to 19 points. We lost 19-9. Okay, it was Kellen Moore. I don't know. Maybe it was all play calling, but
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Okay,
play calling sucked.
Okay, in the biggest games, in the biggest moments, Dak Prescott hasn't been there when we needed him. It's as simple as that.
Skip,
I've seen enough.
The man has won, or whatever, Dallas has won, because he missed some of the games. 12 games in 3 straight years, right? As you say, I give you the fact that he hasn't played well in the postseason. But again, I can point to many quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League that did not play well at a time in the postseason, and eventually it turned for them. Yeah. It turned.
Okay, will it turn? Has his history shown you he's about to turn the corner at 30 years of age?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
We're going into 9 years.
Yeah, but it takes sometimes quarterbacks play now longer than 9 years.
They do.
I mean, I hate to point to Peyton Manning, but he struggled in the playoffs until it turned, Skip. The Indianapolis Colts wasn't talking like you. They wasn't sitting up saying, we got to get rid of Peyton.
Okay, but
we got to get rid of Peyton.
The first pick in the draft.
I don't give a damn
and
if he
saw
was.
Flashes in the regular season.
I don't care.
You said he might be the best quarterback in pro football.
But this dude was in MVP conversation all the way up until December.
Yeah, okay. But did he win the MVP? No.
Dak Prescott
How was he going to win MVP with those 3 games that I showed you?
He was in the MVP conversation up until some point in December.
Okay.
In fact, at once upon a time, he was leading that conversation.
I don't know about that. Not after Arizona and San Francisco.
Arizona was the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well,
that was on y'all. Y'all let them run 222. Not him. Your defense did.
Yeah. Keyshawn, that loss to Green Bay was the single most shocking and crushing playoff game I've ever watched in all my Cowboy-loving days that go back to my age 10 years.
Yeah, because you're delusional.
No,
and you just believe since we're the 2 seed and they're the 7 seed, we're supposed to just walk over them. These young kids coming here at the quarterback position didn't give a damn. Romeo Dobbs didn't give a damn about it being the Dallas Cowboys and the Star. They had no fear at all. Y'all walked in to your stadium feeling, oh, this is us. We Dallas. We just gonna do what we want to do. And you got run out of your own building, Skip.
I have so many friends who are Cowboy fans who can't even talk about that game yet. It's still too early. It's still too raw. It's too real. It's too inexplicable. It's one of those things where you say, well, the definition of insanity is just to keep repeating what you just did. So for Jerry Jones to say, oh, I'm going to retain Mike McCarthy, you're going to, really? He can come off that game and keep his job? I think even you would think, I don't know about that one. And
what do you have that's better?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Who was better?
Jim Harbaugh was out there. I would have jumped all over that.
Jim Harbaugh didn't want to coach for you.
Well, how do you know that? I don't know that.
Because he's in Los Angeles coaching the Chargers.
How do you know that he wouldn't have said, I love that roster and I'll take that?
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, why? Because of Jerry or?
Probably not. He probably wants control like he's got at the Chargers to do what he wants to do. He brought in his general manager from the Ravens, his brother's team. He's doing what he wanted to do.
Well, I don't know. If Jerry had said, I'll step out of the way, I'll go Bill Parcells. I'll give you the franchise. You run it. Boy, I would have stood up.
When has he ever given somebody the franchise?
Bill, I think he gave it to him as much as he was going to give
it to him for a year?
Yep.
Yeah, how did that work out? He ran him out the building.
He said, I want to get your popcorn ready. I
ran him out of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, ran him out of the building.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't want to coach for Jerry and the Dallas Cowboys, though, Skip.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
But a lot of people want to coach the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe not for Jerry Jones.
But Jerry's the owner. He's not going anywhere.
Okay, but they're still the most watched team in all of sports.
All that's cool. Mm-hmm. You know, you're so enamored that the fact that they are the most watched team.
They are.
They travel well. They got fan bases all over the world.
They do. The deepest fan base in the world is the Dallas Cowboys.
They absolutely do.
Yep.
But yet and still, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, they are a sleeping giant. They're the biggest sleeping giant in all
How long
sports.
are they going to be sleeping giants?
I don't know. Maybe Jim Harbaugh would have fixed that, right?
They've been asleep for a long time.
Yeah, I pounded this table going back 4 years ago. Let Tom Brady come in here and see if he can figure it out. And he went to Tampa and figured them out.
You had a quarterback, though. You had a quarterback. It wasn't like you didn't have – Tampa Bay didn't have a quarterback. They needed one.
Okay, we needed one. You didn't need a
quarterback. In your eyes, you think you needed one.
Yeah.
You think now you need one. Mm-hmm. But you go ahead and you let him walk out the building on you by not redoing his deal. Because I could almost promise you that if you upset the apple cart now again, I can almost promise you him and his brother going to pack their bags and get up out of town.
Good.
I can almost promise you
Love
that.
it.
You treat him like he's a slappy if you want to.
Yeah.
You treat him that way.
He treated Jerry like a slappy. He has had Jerry over the old oil barrel.
Now, how did he treat a man like a slappy when I outperformed my contract and I performed at the highest level? I'm supposed to be paid at the highest level, but you wanted to treat me like I was an undrafted free agent that was begging for a job. What is he supposed to do?
He's a fourth-round pick. And he has nothing to show for it.
And he didn't play like a fourth-round pick.
If he'd gone and won a Super Bowl,
he played like a $150 million
oh, that was a fluky Brad Johnson of a Super Bowl, then you'd have me on this. But no,
Skip,
he's
not
run.
Getting ready to diss Brad Johnson in front of me.
Okay, but Brad Johnson, he was just pretty good, and he was
good enough to bring us a Super Bowl.
The right place at the perfect time.
Okay, and aren't they all?
And
aren't they all?
As our friend Derek Brooks said, that defense just might have been the greatest defense ever. It might have been.
Right place at the right time for all of us, though, Skip.
It was.
It was the right place at the right time for Tom Brady in New England for 10 years, 10 Super Bowl appearance. What do you mean you don't know about it?
That was the right place, the right time for Bill Belichick.
It might have been.
Yeah.
That may be true. But if Tom Brady isn't with Bill in New England and he's off somewhere else at another team, we may not even be having this conversation or talking about no time. Everybody is the right place at the right time. Stop dismissing people as if they can't play or they're not good, and you can't do that, though, Skip.
I can.
No, you cannot.
I've seen enough. I have first guessed it, second guessed it, third guessed it, and now I'm ready to fourth guess it. I've seen enough, and I think Jerry has seen enough. I think Jerry finally
Jerry's
said,
on
you know
record
what?
saying he wants to get a
He
deal
said
done.
a lot of happy talk. He said a lot of cliches.
So he's going to keep saying,
okay, now
I want to get a deal done, I want to get a deal done. And so as we roll into the season, I want to get a deal done,
So now we have an ESPN report, an NFL Network report, and a Rich Eisen report that say, hold the phone on this. Jerry's going to just make him play it out.
Everybody's
guessing. I know, but when you get three of that credibility
everybody's
sources,
guessing as to what Jerry means or meant by I'm all in. Everybody's guessing because he didn't say specifically what he meant by all in.
Just make him earn it. I love
What the hell's wrong with you, Skip? He earned it.
He has not earned it. He's done nothing in the postseason.
I'm going to ask you.
2-5.
I'm going to ask you one more time.
2-5.
I'll ask you one more time.
Yeah.
Should the Bills get rid of Josh Allen?
Okay, we're not talking about
I don't care what you say.
I don't care about Josh Allen.
I'm talking about postseason success.
Yeah.
Should they get rid of him?
No, I don't know.
Should the Baltimore Ravens...
What's your standard?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No, let me finish. Skip those.
Okay, I'll answer.
Let me finish.
Josh Allen is way better than Dak Prescott. Okay, so they shouldn't get rid of him. Josh Allen has way more potential than Dak Prescott.
We're talking
higher ceiling than Dak Prescott.
We're talking about you telling me about the postseason. Let's focus on the postseason.
Yeah.
In money that is given to quarterbacks in the postseason.
Okay.
You say no to Josh Allen. Okay,
what do you mean no?
They shouldn't get rid of him is what I'm saying.
Well,
you say no
he's
to
just
that.
better than Dak Prescott. Well, he just is.
Should the Baltimore Ravens get rid of Lamar Jackson?
No, he's way better than Dak Prescott. He's won 2 MVPs.
That's the regular season, though, Skip.
Okay.
That's the regular season.
I can't defend his postseason, but I would not get rid of him.
I'm asking you
I'm going on my gut feeling. They're way better than Dak Prescott.
I'm just asking you a real question.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving you real answers.
Should they get rid of him?
Okay.
Those are two highly priced paid quarterbacks with no
I answered your
postseason
question,
success.
and I turn it around to you. Rank these quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Dak Prescott. Rank them in your mind.
Lamar Jackson?
Thank you.
Dak Prescott?
No way.
Josh Allen?
There's no way.
For me?
You're just saying that.
I'm not just saying it.
Come on.
I'm telling you what I like.
Way better.
I'm telling you, I don't care about him being big with a strong arm, piercing through the wind. Postseason, man, you arguing with me about postseason success.
I watched Josh Allen destroy
You're
Bill
arguing
Belichick.
with me about postseason success.
Josh Allen hung 47 on the vaunted Bill Belichick's defense in a playoff game.
You're arguing with me about postseason
Would you believe
success?
that Josh Allen against Bill Belichick?
Kirk Cousins?
Bill Belichick.
Do you want Kirk
wait a
Cousins?
second.
Do you
Josh
want
Allen
Kirk Cousins, man?
never was stopped by Bill Belichick. He scored on every possession.
I can't talk to you.
It was the immaculate game. That was Josh Allen in the postseason.
I can't talk to you.
Every possession.
Because every time I tell
you can't beat it.
What the hell you mean? I'm giving you quarterbacks that make money that don't win in the postseason.
Okay, yeah.
And their teams aren't getting rid of them.
Yeah. And you know I'm right about this. Cowboy Nation knows I'm right about this. And finally, Jerry Jones knows I'm right about this.
We got to pay some bills, man. I can't listen to you.
You just won't hear me. That's the problem.
I can't hear you, listen to you, and sit here across from you listening to the nonsense.
This will continue on our next topic. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.